All right, so more millionaires have been created with real estate than any other avenue. So you might be thinking, what is the best type of real estate investment? Well, you came to the right video because I'm gonna explain it in this video. All right, I got several points to unpack here. One is how I got started in real estate, the different avenues and types of real estate, and how I ultimately stumbled my way into the best type of real estate investment. Okay, so how in the world did I get started in real estate? 2007 is happening. I was just out of high school, just a few short years, and I wanted to be a real estate investor. So I thought I had to get a real estate license to do that. So I studied super hard for the test, the course. I was working like full days, mowing grass for a living. So I was like exhausted. And then I would drive 30 minutes to go to college and sit through like a 3-hour course at nighttime of how to be a real estate agent, which mostly they taught me about like the ethics and moral and all the business law. They didn't teach me how to buy and sell real estate or anything that I was interested, like being a real estate investor. So I get through this, I take the course, I take the test, and I barely pass it, and now it's time to take the state exam. Well, guess what? I failed it. And then a hurricane hits Florida, and that like extended it again to me for where I can take it again. So I failed it the second time. By the third time, about a year later, I finally passed the real estate exam, and it's now 2007. And I know I said I started this within 2007. It's actually 2007 when I finally passed it. So it was really 2006 when I started this. And all I'm getting at is if I can do it, anybody can do it. But 2007 is happening, and I'm finally about to get to pull the trigger and be a real estate investor. I see the first deal that comes across my desk. I'm like, great, this looks like a great house, 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, $123,000, and I'm gonna buy this house for $0 down because in 2007, it was really easy to get a loan, as a lot of us know. Well, I didn't have the $1,000 earnest money deposit that the seller wanted to see to get this thing under contract. So I called great grandma. Hey grandma, I just got my real estate license. I'm about to be a real estate investor. Could I borrow $1,000? And she said, sure, yeah, no problem. But if you don't pay me back, that money's gonna come out of your inheritance. Well, I said, no worries, grandma. I'm actually gonna pay you back because I'm getting a real estate commission to buy this house. I'm gonna get like $3,500 because I'm getting like 3% commission on this thing. So I'm gonna pay you back. And I did pay her back. Well, guess what? I never saw that inheritance. I think she was like just tricking me into paying her back. But I get the house, and I now get a renter in there, and my mortgage is about $750 a month at this time, and I got a renter paying me $850 a month. Great deal, right? Well, that was actually like top of the market in that county. And what I learned was that renters with great credit and plenty of income don't usually pay top of the market. So I had to learn the hard way. This house got trashed, it got demolished, and I say demolished, I say basically trashed and destroyed. It didn't get demolished. I might have been painting a worse picture because it was hard for me at that time. It was like $5,000 in damages when this tenant's moving out, and I didn't have those funds. And mind you, my mortgage was $750 a month. I'd only been making $850 a month, so that's only a positive cash flow of $100 a month. Well, $5,000, I just went in the negative. That's gonna take me a very long time to pay that money back at $100 a month. So needless to say, my first real estate investment as a rental was not a very good one. Well, let's fast forward a few years. Real estate market sucks, like the bubble burst. I got a different job. Like I'm no longer a real estate agent. I pretty much threw in the towel. I gave it a little break. So my grandfather said, hey, join the military. You can do 20 years, you get a great retirement, and they'll send you to school. Well, I go to the Air Force to try and join, and this is 2008, so about a year later of me pounding the pavement, not making any money, getting behind on my bills, and that was pretty embarrassing. I was married at the time, and I had owned a rental property, and I'm a grown man. I'm behind on my bills. Like, I wasn't sitting well for me at nighttime. So I got in the military, went to school, just like they promised, but ultimately it wasn't with the Air Force, it was with the Army, because I wasn't able to get in the Air Force, and the Air Force recruiter was kind enough to say, hey, go next door to the Army, and they'll take anybody. So before I know it, I'm in basic training, and I was overseas for about 3 years until about 2013. I get back to the United States to go to college to be an Army officer, and guess who's back in real estate? This guy. So I buy a house, I buy another rental property. This time I got it at the right time. I got it at the low part of the market and I rented it out. I fixed it up and was able to do a cash out refi. I pulled out $55,000 within about 3 months of owning this first house. Actually, it's my second rental by this time, 2013. And I buy a second house and I fix that up. I rent it out and the bank gives me a line of credit this time for about $100,000. Basically, it's the third property, but the second house in 2013. Well, now it's time to move to Colorado and I buy a triplex for $100,000. And what has happened with this triplex is now worth $500,000. But all I'm trying to say here is that's kind of how I got started, by stumbling my way forward. And before I realized, I was like maxed out on all my credit cards. My American Express was maxed out. My Home Depot card was maxed out. I was like literally leveraged to the max. I had to figure out something different. So I started looking for a way to wholesale houses because I heard that you don't have to have a lot of money. It's the best way to get started in real estate. So what did I do? I went to a program that I can find the houses where people were behind on their mortgage payments. We call that notice of default, or lis pendens. So I did that. I got this list, and if you want to get access to this list, this website that I was using, it's landsharkslist.com. It's below in the description. You'll get a 7-day free trial to this, and then it's $99 a month, and you can see exactly what I was looking at. But I'm gonna get to it. I promise I'm gonna get to what is the best type of real estate to get started in. But before I get to the best type of land, I want you to hit the like button on this video. Hit the like button. I come out with these 5 days a week. All right, let's keep moving. So I just want to tell you the evolution of how I found this by failing my way forward. I'm door knocking all these people that are behind on their mortgages. And let me tell you, when they opened the door, they usually had cookies in their hand and milk for me because they were just so happy to see me. That's a total lie. They were pissed. They did not want me knocking on their door. They thought I was with the bank. So those knocks became a very quiet me putting a sticky note on their door saying, hey, I'd like to buy your house, call me. Well, one person did call out of the however many I did that with. One person did call, and that turned into a house that I got under contract at a discount. And then I found the cash buyer by putting this thing on Craigslist and selling my actual contract. Well, that made me a quick like $3,700 net profit of signing that contract. I decided that was too hard. I no longer wanted to do that anymore. So I was like, let's move on to land. I heard that land is crazy. There's no competition in it. You can get financial freedom. You know, everybody wants it. And I heard about this guy on a podcast. He was buying this land at like crazy pennies on the dollar and he was selling it overnight. Well, I wanted some of that. So I had this list of tax delinquent land. And what do I mean by tax delinquent land? Basically, this was people that were not paying their taxes on their property and they go up for auction. So tax lien investors can actually purchase that tax lien and earn a return on their investment. Well, I didn't care about that. I wanted to get in touch with these people that weren't paying their back taxes and see if I can help them out and buy their land for a massive discount and turn around and resell it for a quick profit. Well, the first one that I found was $285, and I ended up being able to sell that land overnight for $5,000. That was a quick profit of literally over $4,700. Quick profit. Well, the next one I did, I bought for $500. It was like a week later, I bought for $500 and sold for $5,000. And then the third one I did was actually with a bank that wasn't paying the back taxes. They allowed me to get this property under contract for $25,000. The land was worth over $100,000. I went out and put signs out all around this property. My goal was 33 signs. Before I even hit 30, I had a buyer calling me from my sign that said 44 acres, must sell, $38,000. I had that property under contract for $25,000. $25,000, the difference between $38,000 and $25,000 is a quick $13,000 profit. I had a buyer calling me on the phone before I even hit 30 signs that day. So that is my opinion, the ultimate best type of real estate investment, and that is land. I'm known as the Land Sharks. I've done over 280 something land deals now at this point over my last 5.5 years doing this. I've created a tried and true method of teaching people how to buy land at massive discounts just like I did and sell this stuff in your sleep. So if you're interested in checking this out and buying land at massive discounts and turning around and selling this stuff and creating a passive income, something that can change your financial future, head over to thelandsharks.com. The link is below in the description. Schedule a call. If me and my team feel like we're a great fit, we'll see what your real estate goals are. If we feel like you're a good fit, we'll be honored to coach you.